One of the things I wanted to do today was to thank our many patrons for their incredible support of Mapperton, and in particular all of the new patrons who have joined recently. It really makes such a difference. All of the income from patrons goes directly into supporting repairs, maintenance and restoration projects here at Mapperton. And I'm standing in front of a building that has needed quite a lot of work recently, which has been enabled by the support we've received. Let's go and have a look. This is the magnificent orangery here at the gardens at Mapperton. It was put in by my grandfather around about 50 years ago. And in some ways it looks as though it's always been here, which is a testament to the style and location. But it's a building that seems to require endless repairs. Not long ago, we replaced the entire roof here because all of the timbers at the top were failing. And I think that cost us around about £50,000. That was about 8 years ago, I think, that we did that. But more recently, we've been repairing these front windows. And this is an example of a window that is in really poor condition. You can probably see down there that the frame is rotten. The timber is actually falling away, and at some point it is just going to give way. That, however, is one of the windows that's in rather better condition, because there were 4 other windows here that we have replaced within the last year due to the support that we've received from patrons. So if we come up and have a look over here, you'll see what I'm talking about. This is a fabulous new window made locally by local craftsmen in exactly the same style. And it went in earlier this year. And in fact, there are 3 others here. So we've got a few more to do. Just the cost of replacing these 4 windows was about £14,000. So, you know, that's over £3,000 per window. So I think we've got, what, 1, 2, 3, we've probably got about the same again to spend. And then we've also got these doors, which are beginning to look as though they might need replacement too. One of the things that I've noticed with the timber work here at Mapperton that's so important is staying on top of the painting, because your timber will last much longer if you can keep up a regular painting schedule. And even though this has gone in recently, I can see that the semicircle at the top really needs painting, and that will give that frame an extra bit of life. This window, for example, I mean, it's not in great shape. It's not in great shape at all. In fact, there's a pane here that is about to fall out, and I think I'm going to take it before it does fall out. So there we go. You can see that other panes have fallen out, and in fact what we've done is put in some temporary bits of plastic to stop that from happening. So the yeah, it's all in desperate need of some love and attention. This is the wonderful Pergola here at Mapperton, and it's got these fabulous wisteria and vines, and of course, like everything at Mapperton, it is in need of some attention, or maybe not everything, but many things. And so one of our really big projects coming up is going to be foundation repairs for these columns. So this column here is actually leaning at about 6 degrees, and it's being supported by these top planks. And we've got somebody coming in now to urgently look at how we can support the base and put in a foundation. Again, it's going to cost thousands of pounds. This is the worst one. I think the Leaning Tower of Pisa is only 3%. This is 6%. So it is really in need of some support, and they're going to come imminently to help with this. We did do quite a lot of repairs to the frame up here. There are some new timbers that we've put up, But at some point this whole timber frame is going to have to be replaced, which is going to be incredibly difficult given the weight of all the plants that we have, all of the vines and the creepers and the things that are leaning on it. So a lot of work to do. I should think that to get this all done is going to be tens of thousands of pounds, probably only manageable over several years, but we are starting very soon. I'm sitting on the retaining wall here at the end of the garden, and actually it's probably not somewhere I should be sitting for too long, because if you look at the stonework in the wall, actually the mortar has come out and the stones are starting to fall away. You can see they've come away at the bottom here. This wall is in urgent need of repair. The drop is a good 8 meters or so below us here. And if you look at it from this side, you can also see how the stone has been falling away. So we are in the process of getting estimates for a full repair of this wall and the other side as well. Again, it's a substantial piece of work, many thousands of pounds. So hopefully it's something that we can get going with over the next few months, probably more in the off season than the season. We'll have to put in a scaffold platform below in order to allow workmen to come up and work safely on the other side. But again, it's something that will only be possible because of the wonderful support of all our patrons. There's also an endless number of repairs needed in the house. Now, this morning I've walked around the whole house looking at all of the windows. The reason for that is that a lot of the windows are not opening properly and have got stiff. They've corroded. These casements at the bottom have corroded, and they can be, you see this one here is sort of stuck. Yeah. Some of them have corroded really badly. Others have stonework problems like this one. If you look at what's called the mullion of the window, we've got these stone mullions. You can see up there, that one is really cracking all the way through and pieces are falling off also down here as well. So this is going to be a job for Darren the stonemason. There are other windows, however, where we're going to actually have to take the window out itself in order to send them off to workshops for repairs. Lots of broken panes. I don't know, I think we counted 30 or 40 this morning. Just small panes, but really difficult to repair because these windows, they were probably put in the 1920s when Mrs. Labouchere took over the house. And they're on hinges, but they don't lift off their hinges. So in order to repair them, it's incredibly difficult. Sometimes you're going to have to put a scaffold outside to get right up and do it. Other times you're going to have to just take the whole frame away and repair it before putting it back in. So really complicated work and very specialist as well. Luckily, we've got some good people who will help us with this. Now, this is an example of a window in really bad condition. So you can see that along the bottom of the casement, the corrosion is such that the whole thing has warped, and the warping has caused the panes to crack. Not only that, but the handle has actually come off. So this one is going to be really challenging, and it's very high up as well. I think they're going to have to put a full scaffold on, take the whole window out, and it'll have to go off to their workshops for repair. And there's probably another 10 or 15 in a similar state across the house. I suspect each one of these is going to be over £1,000 to repair. So we've really got quite a big window repair bill coming up. This is an example of yet more window repairs required. In fact, all of these bays of windows need very substantial stone repairs. You know, a lot of this stone is really just crumbling off now. Look at that. And then you can see we've got numerous panes of glass that have broken because the mullions have expanded, I think is really what's happened to them. The window frames, the casements, don't actually fit anymore. So all of these need to be taken off. and restored, and we're in the process of building a schedule of all these works, particularly around stonework repairs, but also window repairs. So you can see how managing one of these wonderful historic properties is really all about staying on top of a never-ending list of repairs, maintenance and restoration projects. We're doing a pretty good job, but we really need your support. So if you would consider becoming a patron of Mapperton, we'd be absolutely delighted. All the funds raised go directly towards repairs, just like these ones that we've been looking at today. To find out more, please go to patreon.com/Mapperton Live or look in the description below. And we really look forward to your support and to getting to know you over the coming months and years.
Heading into the great chamber before the visitors arrive, thus the rope, which I will put out. But I'm looking for something, everybody. I don't know if we're going to be able to find it. Here in the closet, by the way, I need to put that back up. Somehow it fell down, but read that. There's a small window looking into the staircase hall near here. It has been blocked up by cement. This was done without Mrs. Labuchere's knowledge, and contrary to her wishes, she hopes it may be opened out again. Now, that would be interesting if that was there. Remember, Mrs. Labouchere was here from 1919 until her death, 1955, and that's when Victor, who's in here, I don't like that, so it stays in here. He bought it. That's Luke's grandfather. Anyway, this has become a bit of storage, and I need to find some bits for just some valuations that we need done. And I think they might be in possibly the chest under there. I think there's one in there, and that big chest I haven't managed to get out. All right, so that is my next task, is to actually get these out and move them to another room that I can actually look at, because I don't have any space in this house, which I know sounds strange, but it's because the majority of the house is open to the public, and so I can't like put, you know, big metal cases here. I wish I could. Right, I have moved most of the stuff to the tutor room, which I should be doing, but this has just been, I think it's more like, I don't know, costume stuff. Some of it, it's really been moth-eaten. It was in that chest. And the paper in there that I've just taken out was from 1965. So, as in the paper that was laid below. So I'm just going to take this out, and then I'm just going to figure out what's to keep and what's not. But it is, like, look at this, like that just has moth eggs all over it. I mean, they're dead, they're old, but whoa. This gooseberry upside down cake, gluten-free. The gooseberries come from the kitchen garden here at Mapperton. And I want to point out the apple and raspberry right here with clotted cream, these pies. The raspberries come from the kitchen garden. We are, for the first time ever, everybody, thank you, Christine and Becca. Woohoo! We are using ingredients from the kitchen garden, which is so exciting. And look at this tea loaf. I have one in my mouth, sorry. It's so delicious. Handmade, homemade, all that good stuff. Delicious. Welcome to the kitchen garden, everybody. We call it Zoo Kingdom because I've overplanted way too many courgettes or zucchinis. But we've got Christine here, and if you've been watching our channel, or in particular our Instagram at Mapperton Estate, you can see the most amazing cakes we've ever had at Mapperton, and this is because of Christine. It is.
Oh, thank you.
So Christine, this is what I wanted to do, is use some of the, food that we have here in the kitchen garden to create something in the coach house. And that's what you've been doing. Is that right?
I have, yes. Starting off with a gooseberry upside down. Yeah.
Amazing.
Gluten-free.
Yep, I got a photo of that.
Yep, and we're doing a raspberry and lemon sponge cake today.
Okay, so we're going to go into the caged-in area, which protects it from, in particular, cats and foxes. And we're gonna look at these delicious raspberries. I mean, they're everywhere, everywhere. Okay, we're gonna head in and pick some raspberries, and then Christine's gonna go make a cake. We have picked raspberries, and Christine's gonna use her magic to create something very exciting. Look at this cake, look at this cake, look at this cake. Lime, mint, and coconut mojito cake. I'm having a piece today. Here is the raspberry, what is it, raspberry and what, Christine?
Lemon.
Raspberry?
Lemon raspberry.
Lemon raspberry. These are the raspberries we picked. Oh my gosh. Who wants a slice of this? I do. I do. Amazing. Now I'm going to get a photo, so hold on. What we're doing right now is, well, do you want to explain what we're doing?
What we're trying to do is get a handle of what's on the shelves.
Yes, all around us.
Yeah, because I've seen quite often we go and grab and look, and it takes a long time to find out what we're looking for. So the best thing to do is set up a spreadsheet. So it's by shelf, so it's got a shelf, it's got a label. So we spent a bit of time sorting that out.
Yep. Yeah. A1. So that shelf is A shelf, A1, or that bookcase is bookcase A, that bookcase is bookcase B, and then each shelf is A1, A2, A3, A4, A5.
Yeah, so you're never quite sure what you can find on the shelf. So I've started building a spreadsheet that talks about what we know about the title of the item, what it is, whether it's a book, what colour book is, whether it's a box file, and then categorising it into things like Hinchingbrook Paintings, Hinchingbrook Financial, the 7th Earl, so as we can group the information we got on the shelves together. And I think when we go through and sort this spreadsheet in order, that we're going to find that lots of stuff is scattered around the shelves, and that's a new filing job to do. And
so I'm going to tell you what I'm going to be doing over the next hour, but also, Daryl, we're looking at kind of these papers here, and we found a stack, well, not found, it had been just sitting there, a stack of typed papers that we know was from the time of Alberta. So I'm not sure Alberta necessarily typed these herself or if she brought somebody in while she was at Hinchingbrook, but Alberta was an archivist herself, and she started to go through a lot of the letters from the 6th Countess, from the 4th Earl, and which we still have, and she would type them up, which is great because they're typed. Then we don't necessarily need to transcribe them. We can scan them. OCR can do it for us, and then we've got them digitally there. She has, I mean, just here, there's a ton, I'll show you. There's just a ton of these black binders, ton of them. I mean, probably 30 or 40. And inside here, it'll say what they are. So she's done a whole peerage of John the 4th Earl of Sandwich and his whole family, and the Harringtons, and then some of the letters, and I mean, it's pretty crazy here. Letters, etc., etc. And she's got her handwriting in little bits like this. I mean, it's pretty incredible.
That dates quite
So again, what we need to eventually, and again, her handwriting's all in here. So again, maybe Alberta actually did.
That's 1752, so there's some doubt on whether that is Alberta information in the file.
Well, it says, well, no, but that, as in she did it, but that's her handwriting.
Oh, right.
This is all Alberta's handwriting. That's what I'm saying. So she was in here putting little notes after they were typed up. I mean, it's pretty extraordinary. So we've got to somehow match these to the letters. And I think the best thing to do is eventually to scan these.
Scan these, let
Exactly.
the computer sort them out.
So we have a ton of these to go through.
Right.
Anyway, going back to the pack of letters.
Yes, here's my thoughts on it. One is I have found the group of letters with this tag hidden inside.
We were right. Letter for John. Letters from John, 4th Earl of Sandwich, to his son, Viscount Hinchingbrook. That's
a good guess. That was a good guess, but that has taken about an hour to sort them into date order.
Wow.
Right, but now we're faced, I thought that'd be the same type of information, but we've got letters transcribed from 1763. We're here in the 1820s.
1827.
Yeah, 1840s, 18.
So this will be the 6th Countess, I think. The 1880s. Well, I don't know what that is. Oh no, do you know what? That's from, I don't know what that would be.
So the other thing we've got to decide is whether we invest any time in going further with these. My concern is that they've got clips on them and they're out of date order. So we've got to decide whether we're going to spend a day or two on them or not. Because there's still a heap to go through.
So they do have clips on them. That means that they were meant to be together. So I probably want to replace the clips because these are bad clips and put the brass ones on. But like this is clipped together for a reason.
Yeah, and I don't know what the thought was.
It says on envelope, Mama's letters. So I wonder if this is from the 6th, but it's got postmarked February 9th, something 59. So most likely it'll be 1859.
But that's the guess, isn't it? There's no century.
I wish they would have put like the date. Here we go. We can find out the Lady Emily Montague, and then maybe we can research that and find out what date it is. And when was, well, that's a Sydney Montague. Oh my gosh.
The only other thing I do know is
We'll have to figure
if
it
you
out.
look, there's locations.
Yes.
So the question is there any significance in the location?
No, but I suspect maybe it's because there's a bunch of letters. Anyway, we're going to leave you guys right now because this is what we're going to be getting up to.